Well, welcome in, welcome back. If you've been here before, if not, welcome to my channel. I'm Lynn the Crafty Cook. We're in the midst of doing all of our Easter cooking, and I'm posting several different videos of all the things that I'm fixing for Easter this year. We just made the broccoli cheddar casserole, and now we're going to do our garlic cheese grits. First, I'd like to ask y'all to do a few things for me. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me some comments. Share these videos far and wide. Just share, 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 share. So everybody gets a chance to see them. And it truly, truly helps me out a ton if you like them, comment, and share them, and subscribe to my channel. I'm new at this. I'm just trying to get started. And subscribers and watch time mean a lot to a YouTuber. So if you don't care to watch them all the way to the end, that would be so wonderful for me. It helps me out tremendously. And a lot of times in the end, I tell you what we're going to be doing next. So with all that out of the way, let's get started on our garlic cheese grits. Okay, first you need 4 cups of water, and it's basically what it tells you on the package to cook your grits, because you are going to cook 1 cup of grits. So I'm going to put this on the stove and get it to boiling. Okay, so when that water comes to a boil, then we're going to add 1 cup of grits, and you want old-fashioned grits. You don't want the quick cook grits. You do not want instant grits. You don't want 5-minute grits. You want old-fashioned grits. The others will work, but not as well. Okay, so if all you have are quick cook 5-minute grits, you can use that. I like the ones that take a while to cook just because I think they do better in a recipe, especially this one, because you want the extra starch that's in these grits. Okay, so when this water gets to boiling, I'm going to put a dab of salt in it. When it gets to boiling, I'm going to add 1 cup of grits. Okay, while our grits are cooking, I want to come back and talk to y'all just a little bit. April is Autism Awareness Month, and any of you that have watched me very often know that my son, who is 24, does have autism. So during this month, I've started, and I'm going to start telling you all a little bit about him, a little bit about some of our struggles and that we've had with him, and tell you some of our good times we've had with him. Last I left you all off, he had gone to kindergarten. We got him all the way to kindergarten. He went in a regular ed classroom half the time and a special ed classroom half the time. He just couldn't tolerate that many children for an entire day at school. So that's what we opted to do for him. We felt was the best. After kindergarten, I chose to homeschool him for a couple of years just because I felt like he wasn't getting what he needed. I felt like he had more potential than what he could get in our public schools here. So I homeschooled him for a couple of years. I taught him to read, taught him to write, taught him to do several things. And that to me was one of my greatest joys with him, was being able to hear him read for the first time. He is a sight reader. I'm going to step over here and stir these grits. He does sight read. He is, I read to him when he was a baby all the time. He loved Dr. Seuss, absolutely loved it. I could recite just about every Dr. Seuss book without a book. I knew every word, front to back, upside down, and every which way. I could tell you everything about a Dr. Seuss book. And some of them still come back. If I get started, I can remember and go through the entire thing 24 years later. But I did teach him to read. I went back to the old Dick and Jane, which I learned to read with. Taught him to read Dick and Jane. But he did, and now he can read. If he comes to a word that he doesn't know, he asks you, and you tell him, and he doesn't forget that word. He remembers that word, whether it's a 3-letter word or a 30-letter word, which I don't know if there are any 30-letter words. There probably are. I just don't know them. But he can read, and that was one of my greatest joys with him, was being the first one to teach him to read a book, because I love to read. My mother was an avid reader until the day she passed away. She would read, sometimes in her later years, a book a day. She loved to read. She didn't watch television, but she would read, and she would literally go into that story and live that story with the characters. She had that ability to do that, and it was wonderful because her last few months were spent in a nursing home, nursing facility, and she was miserable there. But if I could give her a book, her eyesight was bad, but I put them on her iPad and made the lettering really big, and I could give her a book on that iPad and she could escape. So it really made her last few months much more enjoyable. So I just wanted to tell you all a little bit more about my son, since April is Autism Awareness Month, and everything I record in the month of April, I'm going to tell you all a little bit about him, okay? So I'm going to get our grits. I think they're ready. We're going to mix up our garlic grits. I'm going to show you how I finish them off before I pop them in the oven, and we'll be right back. So hold on. Let me grab these grits. Ouch! That pot handle was really, really hot, y'all. This one was not, but Betty, that one was. I didn't think I'd go get over here with them. Okay, here's our grits. Oh, my finger, y'all. Okay, I want to dump them into this bowl right here. But first, into this bowl, well, first of all, let's see, what does the recipe say? I got to add a stick of butter, and since I want it melted, I'm going to add it to these hot grits right here, because believe you me, they are hot, because, like I said, I just about burnt my finger off. Throw that back there in the garbage bowl. Grab my rag to wipe my fingers off with. And you also want your cheese to melt. Y'all know I use 100 spatulas when I cook. 100 spatulas. So I got me 2 this time, so I don't have to step back over there. And I have got about 10 ounces of Velveeta cheese that I have just chopped up. Okay, just hunked it up there so that it'll melt easier. And that goes into the garbage bowl. We're going to stir this up and get this all melted good. So here's going to be our cheese grits. Then, let this melt good right here. Just let that sit there and melt. All right, now then, we need, here I go again. You all know I don't get everything out, right? Never do, never do. I try. Lord knows I try. I read the recipe. But here I forgot the can opener. I'm going to wipe the top of this can off good. We're going to need, it says 3/4 of a cup of milk. And I always use my evaporated milk. Not condensed milk, but evaporated milk. What did I say? 3/4 of a cup. And I'm going to pour it right here in this bowl. This is 1/4 of a cup, so I need 3 of these. 3/4 of a cup of milk. Put that in the dishwater. Now then, it says 1 tablespoon of garlic. So I've got garlic powder, which is just fine and dandy. And I'm going to pour it right into this milk, right like that. And we need 1 egg. That's what this recipe says, but I think I always put 2 eggs so that they will. I want to make sure that they set up. Sometimes when you bake them, I've had them not set up real well. So I'm going to add the extra egg. See how our cheese and our butter's melting in there? Getting all gooey, gooey, happy, happy. And here, can y'all see this? I don't know if y'all can see me or not, but I got to be able to get to that. Into our milk goes in 1 egg. And 2 eggs. Y'all knows I had on my Easter Bunny apron. Isn't he cute? Isn't he just the cutest little bunny face and his little ears? And there's our second egg right in there. All right, we'll put that in there to be washed. We'll give this another quick stir. And y'all, we bake these, okay? We put these in the oven and bake them. There's all kinds of different garlic cheese grit recipes, or cheese grits, or shrimp and grits. This is basically the same kind of grits that I would serve with shrimp and grits because I want the garlic in them. Of course, you want the cheese in them. Of course, if it's me, I'll eat grits anyway. Love grits. Love, love, love grits. I'm going to use this little baby whisk here to whisk this milk and egg and garlic all together. Right like this. And smell that garlic. Smell it. Alright, now then, I want this to, it's melting, it's doing its thing here. I'm going to taste this and see if it's got enough salt in it. Y'all, those are so good. I just want to eat a bowl of grits just like that. Just like that. They are so good. Just some cheese grits. My daughter loves cheese grits. My son, we all love grits. I guess that's because we were in the South and we were born and raised in the South, so we love grits. Right? Amen. All righty. Now then, I'm going to take I need a big spoon. I'm going to take me some of this, put it over into here just like this. Because I want to temper this egg mixture because I don't want it to all go in there and then just my eggs start to cook. So you want to kind of warm it slowly and introduce this slowly to it. Right like this. That in the dishwater. Sounds like it cracked. I hope it's not going to break. I believe that's about good right there. Y'all see I'm just dumping this in here. Right like that. Right like that. Ouch. Oh, that pot's still hot. It really is. All right, and we're just going to mix this up. Just like this. Just like this. We're just going to mix and mix and mix and mix. And y'all, I'm going to leave this like this. I'm going to put just a little bit in a dish in just a minute and bake it so y'all can see what it looks like. But I'm going to leave the majority of this in this bowl now for till Sunday morning. And then I'll put it in my casserole dish, my Pyrex dish, put it in the oven and bake it at 350 until it gets kind of brown on top and it's set. You don't want them to jiggle, okay? See how they're a little bit runny right now? You don't want them to jiggle. You want them to... And y'all, this recipe I had to kind of finagle with just a little bit. The old family recipe called for using garlic cheese. There's several of them out there I found since that say use garlic cheese. Kraft used to make a garlic cheese that came in a little roll about like this. And it was your cheese and your garlic. They don't make it anymore. So I had to say, okay, well, we can use Velveeta and some garlic. So I came up with these measurements of a tablespoon of just granulated garlic and about 10 ounces of Velveeta cheese. And that gets you the same, pretty much the same thing as that garlic cheese that we used to buy did. So let me get me a little dish here, and I'm going to put some in it to pop in the oven, okay? Oh, this won't take but just a couple minutes to bake because I'm not putting that much in it. All right, I'm going to pop this in the oven in this little ceramic bowl here. Now then, I'll cover this up and it'll go in the refrigerator until Sunday morning when I get up and get ready to pop all this stuff in the oven. Of course, there's church Sunday morning, but this year I won't be going. My mother-in-law is ill and I'm staying with her. We will turn it on TV, Facebook or YouTube one. We will join our congregation in their Easter morning worship. So I won't miss that. I won't miss out on my Easter worship. That's absolutely my favorite Sunday in church. Love it. Just love it. So we won't miss it, but I won't be going. So I will be here. I can just pop all this stuff in the oven real quick. So there's my garlic cheese grits. And y'all, you can make these ahead of time, just like I did. You can make them and freeze them and then pull them out if you want them. We have garlic cheese grit at every holiday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, except the summer when we're outside. And we typically don't. 4th of July and Labor Day and Memorial Day, we typically do not have garlic cheese grits. But any other holiday, that's just a family tradition for us, is garlic cheese grits. So I've got this ready to go in the refrigerator now. I'll let it cool here to room temperature before I shock it with the refrigerator in a little bit. So 2 recipes down. We've done our broccoli cheddar casserole and our garlic cheese grits. That's 2 down. Our church also has a Good Friday service, that service of darkness, which is another one of my favorites. This whole weekend is just wonderful. So we'll watch it tonight because it will be streamed, I'm sure. So I won't miss out on that one either. And so we'll get that done. And like I said, I've lost my list. I've got to find my list. So I don't forget something. I'll have people showing up here going, I thought you were going to make such and such. And I'll go, oh, yeah, I forgot. Sorry. So that's going to be, we'll get these grits out of the oven just a few minutes and taste them. And I'll tell you how they are, okay? And I'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, I want y'all to see my grits and my broccoli here. Told you I was going to put them in the oven. I want y'all to see them. Y'all see that good? I don't want to put it up your nose, but that's what you want it to look like. And the broccoli, since we need to be gluten-free, I put potato flakes and drizzled just a little bit of butter on it to give it kind of a crunchy top. The grits, you just want them to kind of brown. And I don't know if y'all can, I'm going to turn you down so you can see. Can y'all see how they just come away from this dish? They just kind of congeal up just like that. Just like this. You've got that crusty top. And we're going to taste them. They're hot, okay? I'm turning y'all back up here where you can see me. But they are hot. Because I just took them out of the oven. Delicious. I always try this broccoli. Now this is the first time I've done this broccoli casserole 100% gluten-free. So I'm kind of anxious to see how it's going to taste. But I believe it's going to be delicious. I really do. I feel like our gluten-free family kind of gets left out with certain things because we tend to go convenience-wise. But I made this soup with just some sauteed mushrooms one night, and we had some left over. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and make this soup and use up these leftover mushrooms. That's absolutely out of this world delicious. If you did not tell me it was gluten-free, I would never know it. I would just think it was an absolutely delicious broccoli casserole. I will show you all how to do gluten-free soups and things in another video. That way, if you are gluten-free and you've been missing out on all of your fun, good recipes that call for cream of chicken, cream of mushroom, cream of celery, all those cream of soups that we cook with, you don't have to miss out anymore. Isn't that wonderful? Oh my goodness. That is absolutely delicious. Oh, delicious. It's going to be all for these two videos, and I hope you make these and enjoy them, and I hope you have a wonderful Easter season, wonderful Easter Sunday. Go out, hide eggs with your kids, get in the sun, and just be together as a family and know that God loves you, Jesus loves you, and He died for us. He died for you. Make it personal. Don't say He died for me. Me. And anybody that would lay down their life for me is special. So when you think about it like that, He laid down His life for you. You, by yourself. If there were nobody else on this earth, He would do it just for you. So remember that this Easter season. And I hope you all have a blessed day. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.